guys, how are you? I'm back. Here we go. We're going to talk about GCF, all right? Greatest common factor. And there are three ways that I taught you how to solve GCF. So I'm going to use this example here, and we're going to go through all three. We have 27 and 81. And 27 and 81, you can do the list method, the prime factorization method, or you can use a Venn diagram. So if we do the list method, we need to list the factors, and a factor is a number that divides into the number that we're given evenly with no remainder. So you have to kind of use your divisibility rules that we talked about, and if you can't think of your divisibility rules, then you need to test out to see if the number will divide it evenly or if you get a remainder. So we start with 1 and the number. And then you have to ask yourself, would 2 go into 27? And 2 is an odd number, so 2 would not go into 27, but 3 would. And 3 would, we've got 9 times. And then you test out 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and then we get to 9. So once you meet in the middle, then you know you have all the factors. And then we take 81. We have 1 and 81. Now 2 again doesn't go into 81 because 81 is an odd number. 3 does go into 81 because if we test it out, 8 plus 1 is 9, and 3 goes into 9. That goes in 27 times. Yep. And then again, you test out all your numbers. You keep going, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 times 9 is 81, so we meet in the middle. And then you look for the greatest number that divides them evenly. Now, 3 is a common factor, 1 is obviously a common factor, 9 is a common factor, but 27 is the greatest common factor, so that is the GCF. Now, if we use the prime factorization method, we take the number, and as I told you, it's like breaking the number down into its the numbers that multiply to make up this number. It's like primary colors versus secondary colors. The primary colors mix together to make your secondary colors. So your prime numbers multiply together to give you the number that you're given. So if we use 9 times 3, 3 is a prime number, so we circle it, and 9 breaks down to 3 times 3. And then if we take 81, we know that 9 times 9 is 81, and then 9 breaks down to 3 times 3. So these numbers multiply, that's very important, they multiply to give you the number. So we have 27 is 3 times 3 times 3, and 81 is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And then we go through and we circle the pairs that match up. So we have a pair of numbers here, a pair of numbers here, and a pair of numbers here. And the thing that I told you, it's like getting to go to the dance. You only go to the dance if you have a date. You got to have a date. So you take your paired up numbers here, and you take 1 from each pair. Don't worry about the single guy out here, just the pairs of numbers. So you take 1 from each, 3 times 3 times 3, which is 9 times 3, and we still end up with 27, which is the GCF. So this is the second method. The first method is the list method. You're listing the numbers that divide it. You're breaking the second method, you're breaking these down to the prime numbers that make it up. And the third method is the Venn diagram method. Now, we take these factor trees, that's what they're called, factor trees, and we make a Venn diagram. I'll just erase this here so we can see it. If we take the prime factorization, remember a Venn diagram overlaps in the middle, we have 27 on one side, and we have 81 on the other. You put the prime factors on one side, so we have 3 3s for 27, and for 81 we have 4 3s. Then you look at both sides and say to yourself, what do they both have in common? And they both have a 3 here, so we cross that off and we put it in the middle because this section here means that it belongs to 81 and it belongs to 27. And we find another pair of 3s. and a third pair of 3s. And then what you do for GCF is any numbers that are in the center here, you multiply together, and that gives you, again, 27. So you can use any of these 3 methods to help you find the GCF. Remember your prime factorization. You need to have your list of prime numbers. A prime number is a number that can only be divisible by 1 and itself. So nothing divides 3 other than 1 in itself. So you don't want to circle it unless it's a prime. Okay? So our answer here is 27, which is C. Okay, there you have it, GCF. Good luck, everybody. I'll talk to you more tomorrow. Bye-bye.